time. President Bola Tinubu has vowed that his administration will defeat banditry and terrorism, assuring that security forces are fighting very hard to restore peace and stability across the country. Tinubu at the presidential villa Abuja when he received leaders of the Ogbia community of Bayelsa State, pledging that his government would sustain the push against violence groups while also expanding development interventions in the Niger Delta. The president's latest pledge came as communities in parts of the Northwest, Northeast, North Central continue to battle insurgency, banditry and kidnappings and attacks on rural settlements, with the federal government repeatedly insisting that security operations have recorded gains through arrests and the disruption of criminal networks. Tinubu told the Bayelsa delegation that the country's security challenges were numerous, but stressed that the government was not relenting as troops intensify operations against terrorists and bandits. President Bola Tinubu has asked the Senate to approve the nominations of 2 new chief executives of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. The requests followed the resignation of Engineer Farouk Ahmed of the NMDPRA and Gbenga Komolafe of the NUPRC. Both officials were appointed in 2021 by former President Buhari to lead the 2 regulatory agencies created by the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. To fill these positions, President Tinubu has written to the Senate requesting expedited confirmation of Orisemiwa Amanorisewo Eyesan as CEO of NUPRC and Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed as CEO of NMDPRA. The 2 nominees are seasoned professionals in the oil and gas industry. Eyesan, a graduate of economics from the University of Benin, spent nearly 33 years with the NNPC and its subsidiaries. He retired as Executive Vice President Upstream 2023-2024 and previously served as Group General Manager, Corporate Planning and Strategy at NNPC from 2019 to 2023. Engineer Saidu Aliyu Mohammed, born in 1957 in Gombe, graduated from Ahmadu Bello University in 1981 with a bachelor's in chemical engineering. The House Committee on Finance and Appropriations, led by its chairman, Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, has commended the Ogun State Judiciary for its revenue performance, counseling it to surpass the achievements in the next fiscal year. The House Committee made the call while taking on the State Judiciary during the ongoing 2026 budget defense by ministries, departments, and agencies of government in the state. The lawmakers also applauded the judiciary for its role in the interpretation of laws and dispensation of justice, while urging the executive arm to boost capital releases to the judiciary to aid better performance in the coming year. Correspondent Kolawale Osho covered the events. Details in this report.
Defending the budgets of the state judiciary, the Chief Registrar, Mr. Olakunle Nyoke, disclosed that as of October 2025, the judiciary had generated over 174 million naira out of the 367 million naira revenue target, representing 47.54% performance for the outgoing year. He stated that a total of 2.882 billion naira was expended on recurrent costs, including personnel and overheads, out of which 4.350 billion naira earmarked for the year, representing 66.25%. For the 2026 fiscal year, he said the judiciary proposed a total of 11.312 billion naira, with 460 million naira projected as internally generated revenue, just as 7.396 billion naira was earmarked for recurrent expenditure and 3.915 billion naira budgeted for capital projects. He highlighted the key proposed projects to include the construction and renovation of office buildings, a residential quarters across judicial divisions, procurement of a 100-seater luxury bus for staff, and the upgrade of digital judicial processes to enhance efficiency, such as digital affidavit processing and case filing. In a related development, the committee commended the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment for recording 75% performance in its internally generated revenue for the outgoing year. The committee also acknowledged the ministry's performance towards improving the state's ranking from 30th to 5th in the nation's ranking on Ease of Doing Business Index. On his part, the chairman of the House Committee on Industry, Trade and Investment, Honorable David C. Oedele, urged the ministry to sustain and surpass its current performance in the next fiscal year. Presenting the ministry's budget proposal, the commissioner in charge of ministry, Mr. Debola Shofela, proposed a total of 7.748 billion naira, comprising of 3.999 billion naira for capital projects, with 820 million naira set aside for personal cost and 2.972 billion naira for overhead cost, while proposing a revenue target of 6 billion naira. In another development, the House Committee directed the State Property and Investment Corporation (OPIC) to reappear before the Assembly with detailed figure of the Metro's residences owned by the state government for proper legislative engagement.
The National Economic Council, NEC, has constituted a high-level committee on livestock development to accelerate the implementation of reforms aimed at transforming Nigeria's livestock sector and resolving the long-running farmer herder crisis. The committee was set up during the 155th meeting of NEC held virtually, as Vice President Kashim Shettima said only a practical, enduring and nationally accepted solution to the farmer herder conflicts would guarantee food security in the country. The Livestock Development Committee is made up of one representative from each of the 6 geopolitical zones: Bauchi State for the Northeast, Niger State for the North Central, Ondo State for the Southwest, Imo State for the Southeast, Cross River State for the South-South, and Kebbi State for the Northwest. The Kebbi State's Governor, Nasir Idris, will chair the committee. The Ogun State's government has declared that it would not compromise the standards in road construction across the state, urging all contractors engaged in by to deliver jobs that conform with government specifications or risk losing those jobs. The government handed down this warning following the stop work order issued by the Ogun State Ministry of Works and Infrastructure on Monday, December 15, to the Managing Director of Lava Bogo Nigeria Limited, the contractor handling the reconstruction of the Padi Arikawe Road GRA in Shagamu area of the state. The road, which is 3.39 kilometers in length and is being done by the Ogun State government, previously attracted a stop work order when the contractor handling phase 1 of it, namely 260-meter constituency projects of the senator representing Ogun East in the National Assembly, Binga Daniel, failed to abide by specifications. The Ogun State government said that information obtained in respect of the road, as initially proposed by Ogun East Senator, indicated that it would take the federal government between 6 and 7 years to attend to the rest of the road, as phase 2, 3, and 4 are mere proposals, adding that the Dapo Abiodun government therefore awarded the rest of the road in order to address the plight of residents of the area. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to Governor Dapo Abiodun on Media and Strategy, Honorable Kayode Akimade, the government indicates that its action followed the Works Ministry's receipt of information from the resident engineer on the project that the contractor had commenced the drainage work using reinforced steel instead of doubly reinforced steel recommended in the contracts. It said that the contractor, who was immediately given the official stop work order on the same day, was instructed to demolish all the concrete bases and remove all the reinforcement steel since the walls had not been cast, and reconstruct same with doubly reinforced steel using grade 30 concrete. As part of its efforts to sustain effectiveness and efficiency in the operation of its digital innovation, Ogun State Minister of Education, Science and Technology has trained zonal education officers and zonal portal administrators across the 20 local government areas of the state on mastery of the digital platform for education revitalization. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabo, during a capacity building training exercise organized by the ministry at Simeon Adibo Library in Abeokuta with a theme, Implementation of Digital Platform for Education Revitalization, DIPA, says the exercise was physical representation of the earlier virtual webinar digital training, which involved all stakeholders in the education sector, represented by the Director of Education, Departments of Planning, Research and Statistics, Mr. Olabode Adewale, Professor Arigbabo, and joint participants to take the training very seriously and ensure they get acquainted with the platform, adding that they should ask necessary questions for clarifications. Addressing the participants, the funder, EduTam, the platform that powers DIPA, Associate Professor Ademola Adenobi, says the enhanced digital platform was created on a better framework which could also automate and digitize activities within the public and private schools, adding that the training would enable them tackle any challenge from this sector. Appreciating the government for the training, two of the participants, the zonal education officer, UN North, Mr. Emmanuel Asigbe, and the zonal portal administrator, Abeokuta South, Oluwabomi Oloja, said the exercise has broadened the horizon and equipped them for proficient use of digital platform. Professionals remain firmly in charge of the education sector in Ogun State, as the government has sustained reforms aimed at strengthening quality, accountability, and efficiency in public schools. The assurance came from the chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Biodun Sonyaolu, during a media party held at the Commission's headquarters in Ukemoso, Abeokuta. Our reporter, Margaret Okunlola, reports.
The state continues to position itself as a model for education reforms, with policies designed to enhance effective teaching and improve service delivery across public secondary schools. Speaking at the media party, the chairman of the Teaching Service Commission, Apostle Biodun Sonyaolu, says the state is strengthening the education sector through reforms that promote efficiency, accountability, and quality teaching. He explains that one of such initiatives is the introduction of a whistleblowing policy aimed at bridging communication gaps between stakeholders and the Commission while addressing violations of the Code of Ethics.
The idea of the whistleblower scheme is for us to get close to what is happening in each school. We can use that scheme as a mirror to see what is happening in all the 517 secondary schools. Number three, it gives the opportunity to all the teachers to be able to relate with us. The scheme will go into full operation from next term. But the test running that we have done in the last 2-3 months has yielded a lot of results. Just like we are here to protect our teachers, we are also here to protect the students. We don't want the teachers to be molested. We don't want the students also to be molested by the teachers. Our job is to protect the two sides.
Apostle Sonyaolu notes that no incentives are attached in order to guarantee transparency and integrity. As part of efforts to ensure balanced staffing, the TESCOM chairman says teachers will be redistributed across the 517 public secondary schools in the state to improve effectiveness in service delivery.
The biggest tool in TESCOM is inspection. We have identified each school in Ogun State. So, and what we are doing now is taking the bull by the horn, looking at it where we have excess teacher. We take the teacher on that subject to schools where the services is needed. During the tenure of this our governor, we are not lacking in capacity building for our teachers. We are not going to allow any state to overtake us because we are not going to remain where we are. In fact, the leader of our team, Professor Adibabu, is burning with ideas.
He adds that the Commission is collaborating with stakeholders, development partners, and private institutions to leverage technology and maximize the use of artificial intelligence in teaching, learning, and administrative processes. Addressing challenges, Apostle Sonyaolu identifies external interference and lobbying by teachers seeking postings to urban areas, but assures that integrity remains non-negotiable, with plans underway to improve rural posting allowances.
They must continue to make efforts, knowing fully well that what efforts they make, charting a better tomorrow for the students under them will also be the portion of their own children. Then to the students must know that education is light and it is education that will shape their future.
The TESCOM chairman further disclosed that 1,000 Ogun teachers are expected to resume duties in January 2026. He reiterated the Commission's mandate of managing teachers across Ogun State as it continues to drive sustainable reforms in the education sector. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
In a renewed effort to improve access to quality healthcare for indigenous communities, the Yoruba Nurses of North America, YONA, has brought its annual free medical outreach to Ogun State, targeting thousands of residents across the state. The event, which took place at the Ake Palace in Abeokuta, attracted medical personnel, royal fathers, and invited guests. Toyin Ogundipe's report is in this package.
Access to basic health care remains a major challenge for many communities across Nigeria, especially at the grassroots. In response to this need, professional health organizations continue to complement government efforts through humanitarian interventions. One of such initiatives is the annual free medical outreach organized by the Yoruba Nurses of North America, which this year brought quality health services to thousands of residents across Ogun State. The humanitarian health mission of the Yoruba Nurses of North America is driven by a strong commitment to promoting the health and well-being of Yoruba people across the Southwest, as well as part of Kogi and Kwara states. Speaking at a press conference, the president of the association, Dr. Adebisi Alison, alongside other members of the group, explains that the initiative adopts a holistic and community.
Nurses of North America seek to bridge the gap by promoting equitably access to essential health services, encouraging community participation, fostering partnership with the government at all levels, community group, and third-party organizations.
For sustainability, we're also we will be choosing, people who a couple of people who will pay insurance for, and the insurance is going to cover them for a year, so that when we are long gone and they have challenges, they can actually access healthcare, without worrying about the cost.
A team of volunteer physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals is mobilized to provide free general medical checkups and screening. This include blood pressure and blood glucose checks, visual acuity tests, health counseling, as well as breast cancer awareness. In a goodwill message, The Alake and the paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, comments the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention.
Our economy had this turned down and was not doing well again. And our children started traveling. People thought everything about it must be bad. Now this is part of the good things coming from it.
Some of the beneficiaries also expressed appreciation to the Yoruba nurses of North America for bringing free medical services closer to the people.
Many people need medical, but when there is no enough finances, there is nothing anybody can do. We are very grateful to them.
See, this is a very good move from the Yoruba nurses in North America. They are giving back to the community. Yes, so many people have benefited. I realize I have one or two things I have to work on and manage. It's a very good.
The 2025 medical outreach is scheduled to run from December 16th to 20th across 5 locations in Ogun State, including Abeokuta, Ilaro, Shagamu, Remo, and Ijebu-Mushin.
Prominent Nigerians, including Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, as well as 7 and former senators from Ogun and Lagos states, were at the funeral mass of late Dr. Mrs. Olushola Mary Tinuola Odujiri. Dr. Odujiri, wife of Senator Oladipo Odujiri, a renowned legal practitioner and elder statesman in Ogun State, was laid to rest following a solemn ceremony in Lagos. The funeral service was held at the Chapel of the Healing Cross, College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba. Benga Adekoya reports.
A solemn and well-attended funeral at the Chapel of Healing Cross, College of Medicine, University of Lagos Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, marks the final journey of Dr. Olushola Mary Tinuola Odujiri, who passed on at the age of 76. The late medical professional, wife of an illustrious son of Remoland and respected legal icon, is remembered for a life devoted to service, faith, and community development. In a sermon, Reverend Olusegun Onofeso admonishes the congregation to serve God wholeheartedly, reminding them that death remains inevitable for all. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun describes the late Dr. Odujiri as a remarkable woman whose life exemplifies dignity, compassion, commitment, and welfare of others.
It's a big loss to us as a state, a big loss to the family. Dr. Odujiri was an accomplished public health professional. She was exceptional. She not only contributed her mark in the public health space, she was an authority, not just in Nigeria, but internationally. Her death remains a shock to us, but we continue to submit to the will of the Almighty God.
Family members, associates, and notable sons and daughters of Odiremo also paid glowing tributes, describing her as God-fearing, a bridge builder, and a strong pillar of support for our immediate community.
Most better half. We would have been 54 years in February, married. Before then we were friends. So more than 54 years already. But we thank God for her life. She served with our God. She lived well. She lived very well. We thank God for her life.
So she's original, she's loving, she's unique, she's selfless, she's ọmọ Ọlọ́run tó fẹ́ràn Ọlọ́run tó ní Ọlọ́run rẹ̀.
My mom was awesome. She was a, what you would say, a Proverbs 31 woman. She was a mother in Israel. She was prayerful, she was loving, she was selfless, and she gave to each and every one of us and to so many of her other adopted children all across the world.
She's our wife, and she's a nice woman to us in the town. That was why we came here, to give her a good last respect.
Dr. Mrs. O.M.T. Odujiri, very supportive woman, very religious, very committed to development of the community, and has been doing well. Very supportive and very fine woman.
The remains of Dr. Lushola Mary Tinola Odujirin was later moved to Ikoyi Cemetery, Lagos, where she was committed to Mother Earth.
Always remember that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Thank you for watching the news at 2. Join us in the evening for more comprehensive package. Bye for now.